Hello everyone, my name is Marion with DTM Real Talk Channel. It's the channel that you can tune into, have the ability to listen to the thoughts of others about topics all over the world that touch every one of our lives. Everybody goes through basically the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. So if you're going through, someone else has already been there. Maybe you can find hope. Maybe it's a pathway that can set you on the right road just by tuning in. So DTM Real Talk, just keeping it real. And if you like it, like us at the bottom, subscribe, and let us know just how we helped you. Just keeping it real. Nothing but love. Good evening. This is Real Talk, DTM Real Talk, and we are back with Henry too. And last week he talked about, this is really good. He talked about his foundation, how it was laid properly with his parents. He had both of his parents, had a very good childhood. And from there he went to college and he got into the buck wild stages like most college kids. I didn't say all, I said most. Some people like to deny that. But anyway, he got into the buck wild stages.
Yeah.
Got introduced to drugs and alcohol and got involved in that and played ball. And his desire was to play ball at one point, and he ended up not doing that and experienced some rejection, some insecurities along the way with that. And he told us, he shared with us how he did not recognize that he was really, he really had an addiction until it was kind of too late, in a sense of, wow, this is where I am. Right. So too, say hello to the good folks today.
Hello to the good folks. It's Henry White II. If you didn't, you weren't here for the first part. So I'm here from Dallas. Was just talking a little bit about my story. So we were gonna continue on. Thanks for having me again, Marion.
Awesome. So yeah, so you were at the point of despair, and I think the last time we talked, your mom came and got you. You called a friend because you were just at it. You were at wit's end, and you were going to do the thing. So the friend called the mom, and your mom came and got you and brought you to her house, and you left kind of upset, and she talked to you in the car, and that's where we were. What were you saying to mom? What were you feeling at that time when mom was talking to you?
Yeah, I was just telling, she just really asked, as a good parent does, like, really what is going on? And there's only so much I can tell, right? There's certain things you just don't share with your parents. Sure. They would probably rather you not. But, I gave her, I was still pretty in depth about what was going on and where I was mentally, where I was emotionally. And I just promised her I won't do anything. I won't hurt myself tonight. And at that point, I said, okay, I'm going to go get clean. And I went in a week later. I called around. I was trying to find some facilities. I found one. I went, and that was an experience. I fought that every step of the way. I mean, I went there and I was irascible, and the odd thing about it was, Marion, is I guess I was kind of known as the preacher guy, man, because I was with my Bible, I was with my verses, I was trying to evangelize there. And then now again, that was another place that I went and I just felt, again, not accepted. Like, I wasn't super concerned about being accepted, but maybe I was, because I felt that, again, I was like an outcast there. And so, after a while, I mean, there were 3 guys there that I was really close to, and I still am. I still talk to them. I started isolating again, and I was fighting the process. And there was a very specific day, and I remember the lady. It changed my life forever. All the insecurities, all the feelings of inadequacy, all the self-loathing. When people would leave their night before they would give a commencement, just like you would, like, the high school graduation commencement, going to the world, your new self. And we do this, whole little ceremony. You'd have people come up and say some words. And it was about 2 days before I was about to leave. And I was talking to one of the counselors
How long did you stay there?
It was a 30-day program.
30-day program. Okay.
30-day program. Yeah. So about 2 days before I was about to leave, I was talking to one of the counselors. She's awesome, because she was an addict. A lot of them were, but she understood the struggles we were going through. And I told her, I was like, I'm not going to do my commencement. I'm just kind of going to leave kind of uneventfully the way I came in.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, why? And I was like, well, it's like, none of these guys really care about me anyway. Who cares? I mean, I came here, I did what I came here to do. I'm just going to leave. And, she said a couple things. She's like, Henry, these guys really look up to you. And I was like, me? She's like, yeah. She's like, they really do. They kind of hang on your every word. I didn't no idea. And then the thing that she said to me that changed my life is, you are enough, Henry. She said, you have to believe that you are enough. And I think when she said that, like, it just set the wheels of my mind going. And in all my years of life, I think that was really the first time that I believed that. Now, when I was playing sports, again, that was my identity. I knew I was good enough because I had the ability. And if I put in the work, I knew I was going to be there. But it didn't seem to work that way for me in life, and, I'm a person who's really extremely hard on myself.
I know.
Yeah, never really satisfied. So when she told me that was a life changer. I really internalized it over the next couple of days. I did go through the commencement, and I mean, a year later, those words still ring just like she just said them to me. That's what set me on the path. That's what set me on my path when she told me that. Of all the things that I dealt with in there, all the things I learned in there, that was definitely the most salient thing that I took out of the whole experience, and that changed my life.
To reaffirm to you that you were enough.
Well, really to affirm me, I guess the thing that I've been really looking for my entire life, right?
Right.
And it also helped. She telling me that, as I internalized it, made me realize that I have to be the one to validate me.
That's right.
I have to know that I'm enough. Her telling me that it caused me to, I believed it for the first time.
Yeah.
And so in believing in the first time, I don't need that validation now. I don't, it's like and I heard this said with a buddy of mine a couple of days ago. He was like, I care what you think, but then again, I don't care what you think. What you think is your business. What I think can kill me.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so when she told you this and you believed it for the first time in your life, you expressed the feelings that you felt. So what now? Did you come out of the program and come home? How did you handle home? That's being out away from those that were like you. Now you're back in the real world. So how did you begin to handle that? Maybe the first couple of weeks you got out.
I'll tell you the story. Like, as soon as I got home, my mom brought me home, and I got in my car. I was headed home. I was going to go to the grocery store. I was going to get me some groceries. I was going to go home and make lunch. Soon as I got in the car, I drive down the street. I hear clanging bottles. Look in the back seat. I still had 3 beer bottles from before I went in my back. Had a decision to make.
Yes.
I made it. Sorry for your listeners, but I littered. I couldn't wait. I threw those beers, like, as soon as I got down to the end of the street, threw them down. I'm talking about, I'm an hour out of rehab. I didn't need to be sitting there with that, thinking about that.
Right.
So I just immediately got rid of that. So, all right, dodge that bullet. I go to the grocery store, and this is Texas, so you can buy alcohol everywhere. So I go to the grocery store, wasn't thinking about alcohol, wasn't thinking about any of that. I was like, I'm just going to get my groceries. I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat lunch, but take a nap. I walk in, I'm going in, I'm sterilizing my cart, doing all this stuff. I turn around and go put the stuff back. And some guy was watching me do this and comes and grabs the cart that I just sterilized.
Okay.
And I just stood there and I looked at the guy, and he turned around and he's like, oh, was this for you? And I was like, yeah, and I caught myself. I was like, okay, that was, one of my character flaws is my anger, my temper. And
that was
if I'd have said anything, if I'd have said anything else there, that probably wouldn't have turned out good.
Right.
So I'm already like, my nerves are bad already. I'm an addict. I'm it's somewhat easy to be sober in a facility when you know you can't get alcohol. Eventually your mind just
Yeah.
comes to that, and tells your body you're not getting it. But now I'm out in the real world. Immediately I get in my car, there's beer there I have to get rid of. I go to the store and this guy's already testing my metal. And I'm thinking like, golly, man, this is gonna be rough.
Look, you don't know who you done rolled up on in here, huh?
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, this sobriety thing is going to be rough. I mean, I've been out maybe an hour and 20 minutes already, and I was going to the outpatient care, and I was going to AA meetings, and I was, I did what they told me to do: go to 90 meetings in 90 days. I did it. I went through the motions for about the first 2 or 3 weeks, and I tell you, I felt the same anxiety, and I felt the same depression, if not more.
Mm.
And I would go to the meetings, I'd be quiet. And one of the ladies that was hosting one day asked me, and I told her that's how I felt. She's like, you need to work the steps, didn't talk to a sponsor. And I'm like, okay. Like I said, I fought it every step of the way. I've always thought for some reason in my life, I've been the exception, good and bad. And so I'm thinking I'm not going to do all that stuff. I did it. I did it. And when I got to another turning point in my life, when I did my personal inventory and sat down with my sponsor, and he pointed out what my character flaws were, that was eye-opening, because now I know, now I can pinpoint, these are what my issues are. These are the things that I need to work on. But when I asked him, okay, so now what? He said, now you know what your flaws are. So now you go before God and you ask him to remove your defects of character. But you know specifically what you're asking about now. And that is a prayer that I actually pray that every day. It's so easy for me to, I think all of us, and I, in the morning I will ask God, I was like, God, please direct my words, direct my thoughts today. It doesn't take long into the day before I have a thought or say something that definitely was not from him.
Absolutely.
And so I've been more conscious to catch myself. I mean, and that's not to say I catch myself in that moment, but my life is like that now. My life is two things, and only two things that, there's a lot of things within life I want to accomplish, but the two biggest purposes for my life, me personally right now, is I want to be smack dab in the middle of God's will. Amen. And I want to be the best version of me that I can. Amen. So every day, that's what I'm living for. Amen. Every day. And I keep a scorecard to myself. And I can't keep a scorecard as far as God's will. I only know that as he reveals it to me, right? But I know, was I kind today? Was I helpful today? Was I of service today? Or was I rude? Or was I irascible? Or was I fearful? Or was I angry? Or was I resentful? Now that those things have been brought to my, above the veil of consciousness, I can deal with those things now. Yes. And guess what? It's not always pretty. It's tough. It can be really, really tough to really dig deep at what is at the core of not just my addiction, but all of the problems that I had. Yes. It stems back to that insecurity. It stems back to those feelings of inadequacy. And everything else just kind of branched off from that. Those feelings of inadequacy are what led me to want to fit in, which is what led me to want to drink. Do you see what I mean? Oh, yeah, absolutely. And which led me even further in that life of wanting to be accepted here and finding that the easiest path to acceptance was alcohol, because everyone drinks, seems like, right? But it all stemmed from there. And so dealing with that, and my defects of character inevitably came from things that happened in my childhood that I held on to. Sure. And it's unfortunate for children, because children do not have the emotional intelligence yet to be able to deal with things. Right. So as a child, we deal with things the best way that we can. And that could be any number of things: by stuffing it down, by acting out. Some people will be sexually promiscuous. Some people will go into drugs. It's all these things that we have that we really were not yet equipped as a child to deal with, to know how to deal with properly. Know how to deal with it, right? Yeah. Yeah, very good, very good. So it is. You have come a long way.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Like way up there, because I know a little bit of before. So I'm
Right.
super proud of you. You know? And I think a lot of people out there right now, as I told you when we're sitting in the living room, are going through and have gone through where you are and what you've gone
Right.
through. And they don't know where to go to. They don't know where to go. And
Yeah.
you've just given them instructions on where to go. Go to God and ask him to reveal, character flaws, reveal things that you need to change. My brother says this all the time, and I live by it. You can't change what you can't see.
Right.
And you were able to see it. So you're changing it by using the tool of your scorecard, by going into private conversation, prayer with God, by sharing, because that's important.
Yeah.
Sharing and getting that out of you, that's important. That is so important. The Bible says iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens
man sharpens another man. Yep.
So if you can share with me, you don't know if I'm going through depression, because I've been there and sometimes still do.
Yep.
So when you're talking to me, I'm grasping what you're saying and I'm feeding off of it, and it possibly can make me better, make me stronger, give me hope, and vice versa. And so that's what we ought to do. The Bible says that we ought to pray for one another, we ought to love one another, and we ought to encourage one another. And so I thank you for sharing that. So in essence, what I'm saying is I'm thankful for you and your testimony and your story. You have a journey. Everybody has a journey, but everybody's not able to express that journey, to share that journey, because they haven't come to where you are now. And so guys, this is the reason why I said yes, because this boy writes. He writes all this stuff he expressed to you guys. He puts it in poems. And it's absolutely amazing. And I forgot to tell you to have one to read to me. So while I'm running my trap, you can just bring it up on your phone. He expressed in poems when he was down in the dumps and exactly how he was feeling. Oh my God, I was in tears sitting there reading. And then I read another one of how he felt after he came to freedom today. And so I want him to read one of those to you guys.
Which one? Which type? A good one? Or
read it when you was in one of them depressed states, and then read another one.
Okay, let me you know what, I'll pull it up here. There was a it's probably better to read if you read it, but there's a poem that I wrote.
That's fine. We're gonna post it anyway, but I want you to read it.
Yeah, there's a poem I wrote years ago. It's called Hidden Room. It's a metaphor.
Okay.
Let me pull it up. Yeah, it's a metaphor, and on the kind of the writer community website, fanstory.com, I posted this, I think, back in November or December. And it got good ratings. It was a 6-star poem. It was a contest that I entered. It was around mental health, mental illness.
Yes, mental health is real, y'all.
Yeah, it is. And I'm glad that society is actually starting to pay attention to it. And I'm glad that more people are actually starting to seek help.
Right.
Yeah. So it's called Hidden Room. It's a metaphor, and you'll probably be able to get it. Let me get my eyes, because I'm old.
Yeah, you're getting old.
Okay. There is a place that many arrive. Some leave for better things. Some spend the rest of their lives. None like what the room brings. It is dark and there is no light. No paintings or decorations, no illumination in sight, only lamentations. When you are there, you don't realize that there are other guests as well. It's like seeing with closed eyes. No water is in the well, yet tears flood this room. Pain is this room's sole purpose. It contains terror, fear, and doom. The people feel hopeless, lost, and worthless. Yet you cannot see them, and neither can you be seen. It leaves an empty feeling within, but all is not what it seems. Loved ones are not able to find you there. They seek to love, but you are clandestine. It seems that no one cares, and this room is where you are destined. When one leaves this macabre place, there are only 2 destinations. One is final, the end of the race, the other a non-disclosed location. I've been there myself before. I've been blessed to escape, yet I seem to go back for more when things are not going great. I reach for the door. I can't help but wonder why. Why? What did I come back for? Is it to see hopelessness, pain, and cries? Tears from those with so much to offer, so many hearts to heal, who don't feel love's touch, or maybe just too numb to feel. Lacerated hearts, disappointed souls, broken spirits, unmet expectations, losers of love, unachieved goals, destroyed by degradation. This room is not a happy place, and no one wants to go. In fact, this room is never without space, yet it is always packed. But now it really seems as if I'm on my return journey. The door is open. I take a sniff, the familiar smell of pain and hurting. That's it.
Wow. We're going to post that, and y'all can't steal it because it's copyright.
It is copyrighted.
He's writing it in his book, and you guys got to get it. And he's coming back when he finishes it. So that is incredible. You want to read another one? Oh my God.
Yeah, let me find something. I got to put my eyes back on.
Yeah. This is Gumster. I still have chills from that one. Wow. Feelings are real. I've been in that room.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of people have been in that room. Okay. This one is called, it's a metaphor too. It's called Man Under a Tree.
Man under a tree?
Man under a tree.
Okay.
There was an old man that sat under a tree on a park bench. He would always peel his apple and then admire the leaves. Every day he would tell me something I didn't want to believe, that I was chasing prosperity, but it isn't reality. I would laugh at him, not understanding his wisdom and truth. I was a vibrant and virile youth. To me, it sounded like the words of a fool. Then one day the words hit me, when I was older, of course, and I tried to find the old man under the tree. But when I went to find him and see, I found that he was no longer there under the tree. I thought that he was no longer to be, but found that he left the 99 to come and find me.
Wow. Well, guys, I want you to say something. I want you to speak to those out there that are going through depression right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I want you to speak to those who are in an addiction and are not able to come up. Give them some instructions right now.
I would say that the same for both of them. You should feel your feelings, but there is hope. That hope is in God. Big thing that changed in my life. I used to be a person who lived fearing impending doom. I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And then I changed. You know, I understand that God's in control. The first is to love and accept yourself. And the second is to understand that God loves you. When you understand who you really are and you understand who God really is, you will be able to have that peace because you'll be real with yourself instead of thinking more of yourself than you should or being self-deprecating. You will accept and love you for who you are, your limitations, your shortcomings, your strengths, right? The advantages that you have. And then understand that God made you the way he wanted you. If he wanted you taller or darker or smarter or better looking or more athletic, he would have made you that way. He made you the way he made you because he wanted you that way. And the way that he made you is the way that he made you to serve his purpose. And once you submit to that, you're not always going to know what's around the other corner. But if you believe that God is in control because he is, you can go out there without that real fear. Anything new is scary for anyone. But once you really know that God is in control and he has your best interest, then you know whatever you're doing, as long as you are in the center of his will, things are going to work out for you.
Awesome.
That's what I have to say, Marian.
Thank you so much too. And I love you.
I love you too.
Thank
you all. And thanks for having me, Marian.
Yes. And we're going to keep you posted on the publishing of his book, the release, because I'm excited. I'm waiting. And so I'll keep you posted and we'll come back and tell you how to get it once he's done. And with that said, this is DTM Real Talk, and we're just doing what?
Keeping it real.
See you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Marion.
Thanks for watching DTM Real Talk. Be sure to join us for more conversation. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe while you're there.